Hello, I'm Nick Briggs, and you're listening to the Legend of the Travelling TARDIS. I say Travelling Time Lord.
Do it again. Just do it again, just for the count, just for the sake. Go ahead, Nick.
Hello, I'm Nicholas Briggs, and this is the Legend of the Travelling TARDIS.
So, anybody hear any good news lately about Doctor Who? So anyway, hello fellow Whovians, and welcome to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Filling in on this impromptu episode, which I think y'all probably know why we're here. It is I, Melanie Dean, and I have some of the best here with me to talk about this fun happening of in the world of Doctor Who. Now, if you haven't heard, a couple announcements had come out. And we're going to bring our resident news guru in to state the facts of what we know. Then, when we're done, we're going to have fun and pontificate on what the heck is going to happen. We're going to have conspiracy theories. We're going to freak out. We're not going to care. We're going to care. We're going to do all that fun stuff. But let's go ahead and get all what the facts are out first. So, joining me is the wonderful, the amazing Gadget Pendragon.
Hi, guys.
So, how are you doing today on this fine Wednesday?
My ear is still from everything because, like I said, we're going to do the facts. As you know, I deal with BBC a lot when it comes to your news and everything. And I signed NDAs and NDOs. So we're going to stick to what we know as fact. And then you guys can have a field day on whatever you want because I am basically just going to read the original press release from BBC. We're going to talk about a little bit of what RTD wrote, and Mel can ask me certain questions if I say yes or no, but best bet is to wait for the guys later so that you can have your fun with them, and the people can also ask them other questions too, like what are their conspiracy theories? What do you think caused this and everything? Because a lot of our other vloggers that I have been watching have their own theories. But let's start with the facts first because that's what we pride everything on first. Facts. And then you guys can play all you want because it is stated we are in the wilderness years again. But there is Big Finish. There is other things. There's other ways. But as you see, today, oh boy, June 10th at 11 a.m. UK time, we'll put it that way. BBC updated us on the plans, as you see, for Doctor Who's future. And it is their commodity. It is their part of the BBC, but it says like here, I'm going to read it to you guys. Today we are announcing an update on plans for the future of Doctor Who. As part of our securing the next phase of the show for future generations, and in line with the BBC's charter and agreement requirements, the BBC will put Doctor Who out to competitive tender this year. Now, I know people are going to look that up. I had to look it up too and everything. I still don't, I'm going to be honest, I even talked to my contacts, understand competitive tender, but I know what you guys are thinking. Doctor Who is up for grabs. But that's for the conspiracy part of it later and everything, because then you can decide who's going to get it or not, or if it's going to stay with BBC. But Doctor Who remains an important part of the BBC, and this tender underpins the BBC's continued commitment to Doctor Who, ensuring the audience will enjoy the show for years to come. So it's still going to be there. It's just that we're going to see it probably on different outlets, hence what we know for fact, AMC. Okay. And you made it very big. Cool.
I made it very big.
Yeah,
I didn't realize
that works. Okay,
Sorry.
for years to come. And then it says, after consideration, here's where we're going to tie it into RTD's post as well. After careful consideration, the BBC, Russell T Davies, and Bad Wolf have collectively decided not to go ahead with the previously announced Doctor Who Christmas episode. Now, for those out there who aren't familiar with entertainment and aren't familiar with anything, things can change on a dime. Okay? They are allowed to speculate because it could have been still in production, but based on this honest post, because they had a meeting, the outcome was there will not be a Christmas episode. And it says how it right there, the decision was not made lightly, and we know it will be disappointing for fans. Now, this is where I want you guys to understand. Please don't take this as a knife to the heart. This has happened before with Doctor Who. We will survive. Okay? But they're saying it here. But in order to set up the show for future series, it was decided that rather than bridge the gap with a one-off special, we are choosing to push forward to invest in the long-term future of the show, which endures that when the TARDIS lands once more, it does in all its glory. Which means when they speculate on everything, could it be AMC? Could it be BBC? Could it be an independent? We don't know because they have not posted that here. There is no decision yet. The only decision was there is no Christmas special, and Doctor Who is on hiatus based on this news release and press release. Now, the good news is that some people who do like animation, as it says, the previously announced Doctor Who animation series CB Babies is currently in production. Now, if you click that link, it will show you the link from 2025. So they haven't updated yet, but they are in production, which means you might see in the future weeks some productions or even press releases for CB Babies on the Doctor Who. And it says right there, details of the tender will be announced in due course. And then BBC retains the IP in Doctor Who. BBC Studios will continue to lead the global distribution of Doctor Who, as well as the licensing, consumer products, digital immersion experience on behalf of the BBC. All right. So it's not gone, people. It's just, we could say restructuring. We can say finding a new home, because if you guys don't think of it as wilderness years, think of it as Doctor Who is homeless right now. He's in the vortex. He is basically in a different dimension. We don't know. So we're not going to speculate anything, but if the guys later, when they go to talk about this, I would love to hear their theories. But as per BBC, they are going to wait and they're going to work on the animation before
clicking on the link.
And good. Yeah. Because you see that it's December of 2025. That's why we're trying to tell you factual, because we don't want people reading in and playing telephone, because we have certain media sites that are saying they went bankrupt. They went this, they went that. No, this is what BBC has put out. This is what you've been waiting for. It doesn't mean your shows, vlogs and everything are going to end. Like here at TARDIS, we do the reviews on every like different versions of the reviews. We can do other things. There's more episodes. There's things. It will not be gone. Now, with RTD being gone, the nice segue to the Instagram and everything, he lets everybody a goodbye message, which some people are reading into. but
And boop.
it's got a cute little warp and everything and all. But this is actually from Russell T. Davies, and it says sorry.
Sorry, I'm gonna see if I can't. Okay,
Make
so
it
we can
bigger,
see
yeah.
that. Yeah. So there's that
Because
piece.
these are all factual. Like this is actually it's actually from his page and everything, people and stuff. Okay.
Whoop, there we go. That way people
There
can
we go.
actually see it. Hey,
Okay,
our
so
friend Kevo. Okay.
Okay,
He's
so
scared.
that's what I'm saying. Like, look at that. We give a shout out to people because you can tell this is a real fight. Okay. And so goodbye from me to Doctor Who, but hello to a big new future for the show. As the BBC announces, is putting the show out to tender. As a result, there won't be a Christmas special. We only cooked that up to guarantee a future where no one knew what would happen. And the reason why I'm pointing out that is because you saw that press release that was released weeks ago. You saw how everybody was making up things as they went. They were saying, oh, we're getting a Christmas special. We're getting this. And I got birds tweeping out the window and everything. So that's why I wanted you guys to understand why we research here, why we do facts, why everybody was questioning how I find my sources. So basically, like he said, we only cooked that up to guarantee a future where no one knew what was happening. But now we do know. There is no need for it. You'll have to wait a bit longer for new Doctor Who, but you'll be waiting for more Doctor Who than a one-off. So it is worth it. For the record, there was no script. That we're going to leave at that.
Okay. We're just reading what he says.
Right. We're going to leave it at that. And maybe, but I'll let the guys speculate on that. Okay. We're just leaving it at that. Because that would contradict what Murray Gold said. And I don't want anybody saying he was doing a red herring or anything. Okay. So, we're leaving that at that, people. Okay.
So for the record.
Because he's saying I never wrote it and no actor was ever approached to play the next Doctor. Leave it at that. Okay. Leave it at that. See how he says you may disagree. Fine. Sit in that chair and wait to be proven right. You'll wait a long time. Now I am excited as anyone to see what comes next. Will they keep the theme tune? Will they lose the blue box? Will they bring back and I cannot pronounce this. Is that Davrin or?
I see Draven.
Draven?
But yeah.
Because that's interesting that there was that's supposedly an older reference.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's all up for grabs. So which is so Doctor Who? Exciting, unpredictable, and new. Here comes the future. Warp. Now, we know he did a cartoon there. You see the little cartoon? We also have CB babies coming.
There we go.
Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Like the fourth Doctor says, who knows? What's going to happen to who? You know? But these are the facts put before. This is why everyone needs to stop reading into things. We know what was said. We know what is going on. Right now, Doctor Who is on hiatus. It has been put to bed, but we have Big Finish, the CB Babies, and other outlets just like the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS and other podcasts that work with Doctor Who themed adventures. Okay.
Our friend Bob Pickering says, nowhere did anyone official say it was canceled or over.
No, it's just on pause. Like the Wilderness shows was. It was on pause.
As Dan says, we're in the confession dial, in other words. So we're just going to hang out here.
Right. Because you have us reviewing, you have us doing things. What does it mean for Who Knew News? We're still going to do news.
Mm-hmm.
We're just going to talk about Big Finish. We're going to talk about the actors, like how Arthur and Alex are going to be doing New Big Finish in 2027. we're going to be doing, even the Who Knew News is going to be changing a little bit because I have to talk it over with Christian how we're going to proceed forward, which shortens up the news a little bit too and everything. But at the same time, I wanted the facts out there because I spent all morning with phone calls and things telling me, please don't read into this. Your show is still safe, but our show is not. It's been hiatus. And that is the truth there. It is put out to tender. It is, but you have episodes on starting June 11th, tomorrow on AMC Plus.
Yep.
Okay. You have Tubi and Pluto TV showing the older Doctor Who episodes. They're still there. Okay. You still have a way to see your Who. You have Big Finish. I'm just worried that you guys are going to read into it. And that's why I asked to speak like this. Why I said, let's do the facts first. And then I will bow out for today's episode so I don't get in trouble. Because of the speculation I know my team likes, because that's what makes us TARDIS and everything. And I want to see what happens. But like I said, I've been watching other channels and nobody is reading out the facts.
People are having fun with it. People are getting clickbaity with it, and we're gonna do that
because that's why I want you guys to talk about that part of it.
Yeah.
As for me, I had to be factual.
It's raining here.
I know, you're lucky it didn't start here yet. I had to be factual. That's why the team isn't on here because we had to read it out.
They're in the background. They're eagerly awaiting.
They're like this. They're like this. They're itching to tell their opinions on everything. But that's what it's going to be. It's going to be opinions, speculation, all wilderness type when we had it before. And maybe somebody will make another song like Doctor in Distress. Maybe we'll get somebody to make a song or something to bring it back.
Oh,
but
maybe.
I like the fact that it might be coming back in animation form with the CB babies. And hopefully we'll get to see some of the images for that because like it says there, but that can also change too. It's in production because the last thing like we showed them was 2025. So let's see how that's going forward. You have your AMC Plus. You have, like I said, Tubi and Pluto. You have ways to see your Doctor Who. You're not going to have heart attacks. You're not going to have panic attacks. You can do all your reviews and everything. And yes, people are going to say that the license, but because of certain countries, they were supposed to honor their license or anything. This is the BBC and everything. It can change at a drop. Yes, there are laws and everything. We don't know that because they didn't put that in there. So don't speculate on the fact that they might get in trouble because they canceled it. Or they might. No, they already put out their press release. If they're going to put out another one, we'll know soon. If they want to clarify, they don't have to. They just are telling us right now to be patient and wait and enjoy other, But at the moment, I would say just pick up a good book at your library for Doctor Who. Pick up
a Target novel, another Doctor Who.
Pick up the TARDIS and hug it because I have Squishy over here. Because I know a lot of fans are upset.
Yep.
But like Peter Capaldi said, it's a show. It's just a show. Enjoy it. I would have loved a Christmas special. Yes. We're owed 2 technically, right? Technically. But let's make it work. Who knows? CB Babies could be the Christmas special. Who knows? They know. I don't know, but they know.
Yep.
And I want to thank you guys for letting us do the news first, especially the team, because I know they're itching like crazy to basically get everything out there.
Let's dig into it.
I know because of because of the clickbait, because of everything, because of all the other stuff, because of my NDOs and NDAs, I cannot be with them because there are still things that they have to clear me for.
Right. So let's make sure that doesn't happen.
Right.
We're gonna go to commercial, and then after commercial, We're going to bring everybody else in.
And I'm going to say
And get
goodbye and then let them go do their thing.
And then we're going to have some fun. So thank you, Gadget, for going through.
Yep.
And now we know what the facts are.
I'm going to stay on until you bring
out.
everybody in to tell them good luck, have fun, you know, or do you want me to leave like right now?
Yeah, now. We'll go to commercial now.
And then I'll just duck out now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you have more to say.
No, because that's why I want to make sure, like,
okay.
That's how we're doing it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to tell the guys, good luck. Have fun with it. Don't read into it. I want to see what you guys are doing because I'm going to be taking notes. And I want to see your crazy conspiracy theories on this because I want to see what you guys will also be doing. Are you going to be reading, watching, or waiting? So good luck to all the people out there, the fans and everything. Don't be upset because I want to see you all in your cosplays at New York Comic Con, Anime NYC, Bronx Comic Con, or just walking around the street because you are you. And I want you to be happy, to be bright, and always be you and be kind, like the doctor says. All right? See you guys and enjoy the wilderness years. It's going to be fun.
Here we go. So with that, Tom, if you could start the commercials. Love you there.
So what's your favorite Western? Is it this one or maybe one of these? Is it a revisionist Western, an anti-Western, or maybe it's an all-time classic? Whether your favorite Western is in black and white, vibrant Technicolor, a spaghetti Western, a neo-Western, a comedy, or maybe it's only really Western in spirit. Whatever it is, this is the podcast dedicated to determining the top 100 Westerns of all time. Every second Monday on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. It's Horses on Film.
Are you tired of toxic fandoms? Do you wish we could go back to being happy? So do we. We created the Happiness Patrol to get away from all of the toxicity in fandoms, in life, and so we decided we wanted to do a show about something that makes us happy. And in our second season, that's movies that make us happy. So join myself, Cameron, Scott, Jessica, and Melanie on Happiness Patrol at youtube.com/@happinesspatrolshow.
I didn't listen to that voicemail. I'll tear open that letter you sent. Don't you tell your friends I want you back. I gotta leave you now unread, because you've already said those words that switch my heart to dead from loving you. So you'll stay ghosted and I'll stay focused on sewing clothes. The spell stays unspoken, a dark silhouette of a mark man, and I'm broken. Right down, I didn't listen to that voicemail. A TikTok, that story you sent. Don't you reel me in to get me back. I'm gonna leave.
I'm author Mark Muncy.
And I'm author Erica Lance.
And this is Eerie Travels.
Greetings, travelers. Join us as we travel through folklore, myths, monsters, legends, and dark history.
Now, we'll be your guide to the spooky side of reality as we discuss cryptids, paranormal, and all things preternatural.
Sometimes we find the truth is way scarier than fiction.
We're on twice a week on your favorite podcast platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, and YouTube.
We have amazing guests from all of the areas of the strange and unusual, including witnesses, investigators, and more.
Yeah, with Erica's curiosity and ridiculous array of pop culture and true crime knowledge.
And Mark's decades of experience diving into folklore and the legends with the truth that's behind them.
Yeah, so join us, travelers, as we take you to the edge of reality, and we'll see you on the other side.
Hello, my name's Sylvester McCoy. Welcome to the legend of the traveling TARDIS.
And hello again, everyone. Filling in for Christian Basil, who would murder me if I do not bring these couple things up. And the first thing is that he will be at Space Coast Comic Con. This is coming up soon in 10 days now, June 20th and 21st, which I believe is a Friday and Saturday. You can get your tickets by looking at this QR code scanning this QR code right here. At the beginning of our commercials, you saw a lot what's going on with this Comic Con. It's a good small to mid-sized Comic Con. It keeps growing and growing and growing, and it's getting really good with attracting guests, Artist Alley, cosplay, all that kind of fun stuff. So check them out here at Space Coast Comic Con. Again, if you have your phone ready, go ahead and do a screenshot if you're watching this on your phone, or take a photo of the QR code, and you can go ahead and go to that link right away. Also, he will be going to, I think Epic is going to be the next one on the Epic Verse, is the next fan con that the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS will be at. I know Christian will definitely be there, and that's August 21st and 22nd. Of course, I don't remember if this is the one that's Friday or Saturday or Saturday and Sunday. Remember, go onto those. Please use the internets for these parts. Again, I'm trying to be helpful. So Epic Verse, again, it's a weekend for fans, collectors, and families. This one, I believe, is more on the smaller side of cons. However, it is free entry, free parking. It's going to be a grand time to walk around. So put on your favorite cosplay, walk around. Very friendly, family friendly. So go in there, walk around, take photos, look at everything, and enjoy that fun con scene. And this one's in Longwood, Florida. So I believe this is more towards I want to say it's between Lakeland and Orlando. It's more in that Oviedo kind of area. But yeah, it's going to be at 522 Dog Track Road in Longwood. So take a screenshot of this. Go ahead and take a look-see at if you're in this area for Epic Verse FanCon. You check out TLTT there. And lastly, where we're going to be is Ancient City Con coming up in September 25th through 27th. That's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That one Christian will be at, and I will be there too. It's in St. Augustine. The actual convention's at the World Golf Center. The World Golf Village. And the great thing about this one is it's very close to St. Augustine. So technically it is in St. Augustine, but it's not like in downtown. So great convention to go to. Make sure it's one that, make sure you drive there, and you could always go out and afterwards add an extra day to your visit, or just kind of juggle your schedule a little bit, because one thing's not far from another. You can go check out downtown, where you can maybe Christian and I can figure out a meetup afterwards where we can go on St. George Street, start at one Kilwins, eat ice cream with everybody, and get down to the other Kilwins at the end of the street, and we can pick up more ice cream, because that's how we roll. You know what? That's fine. It's Florida. It's a thing you just have to do. We can walk around the Castillo San Marco. We can go to the Fountain of Youth. Live our best Time Lord ways. Try to be a little Tom. What in the morning show is that? Anyway, speaking of, I'm going to start bringing in all of everyone that's backstage now. So now we can pontificate and talk about all the news that we were talking about earlier. So first up, Sean, I'm bringing you to the front first. Hello, Sean. How are you?
Hi. I'm doing fantastic. Is that thunder that I heard on your side?
That would be thunder on my side.
I thought I heard some. Yeah, we got the sound effects too. I thought I heard some of that the thunder on your side.
Yeah. Like, it's raining. And I'm like, okay, it's going to rain. And then all of a sudden I hear crack. And I'm like, fantastic. But the great thing is I have a lot of friends behind the scenes that I'm slowly bringing on here that in case Mel bye-bye, y'all fight amongst yourselves to play hosty. So next person up, the Candyman, Mark.
Hey,
for that sweet perspective. How are you?
Yep, with British sweet perspective, I'm good. I was shocked. I got the news on the channel and I just went straight to BBC and just read it from BBC directly.
Mm-hmm.
But there are other things which Gadget probably can't tell you, but I might be able to tell you because being Britain, which are quite interesting.
Which is some things that I have questions on because might as well bring everybody in first. But yeah, I have questions because I don't understand certain things on the announcement because I'm not in the UK. I see Tom, the Reverend Amagon. He's back here with his morning zoo soundboard. Hi, Tom. Yep, there he is.
Yes, I'm just sitting here eating my popcorn through my Masters of the Universe popcorn bucket, seeing what's going to happen next.
Ooh.
Well, you're in good company because you're in good company to especially have popcorn in a popcorn bucket because we are going to be noshing on a lot of the details on this. Noshing some. And last but certainly not least, because he done showed up backstage and I didn't know that he was coming, but I'm happy that he's coming. And did you hear that one?
Yes.
The Spirit of God saying, "Oh no, Lord."
Is lovely. Hopefully he's not getting nearly as much this like weather like this since he's all the way up in ye old Canada. Is Paparazzo?
Hey, yes, I didn't think I'd make it. I wasn't home, so I got home and went saw that Gadget was leaving and the rest of the people were backstage. I'm like, oh, okay, well then I will jump in backstage and wait my turn.
Dave's here, man.
Dave's
Perfect
here,
timing.
man.
Perfect.
And we can play, and Kristen's not here, so we can play the Dugadoo music.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's true, Christian. Yeah. So again, if you're just joining us, a little bit of news came out today regarding where the
Speaking of copyright.
Yes. Okay, that's enough.
Right.
Only 16 seconds, so that's good.
Exactly. You got about 21 seconds before they start complaining.
And I love the thunder as Dave came in. Like I'm always picturing like Dave coming down from the ceiling on like the platform, like we're in WWE. It's like, oh, Dave's here, you know, lowering him onto the stage.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share my screen real quick once again, just to kind of go over what we saw already. We have the logo right in my face, but that's fine. So the update, if you haven't seen it yet, and you're here tuning in, go onto the BBC. You could go onto any of the Doctor Who official websites, any of the Doctor Who official social media pages. So if you see the one from like Facebook, Instagram, all that kind of stuff, they're all linking to this one. Especially like here stateside. I'm sure you can go onto BBC, you can find it, or everyone's kind of covering this again. At 11 this morning UK time, they made the announcement of the plans for the future of Doctor Who, and the short and sweet of it is the parting of the ways. It is, after careful consideration, the BBC, Russell T Davies, and Bad Wolf have collectively decided not to go ahead with the previously announced Doctor Who Christmas episode. So that's the first big thing is, no, we are not getting a Christmas episode. They say the decision was not taken lightly and that they know it's going to be disappointing for us. My own personal comment is, we're Doctor Who fans, baby. You can't disappoint me. I've already been disappointed enough. It's fine. You people in timelines, I'm okay with wilderness years. I was with you during the wilderness years. I was with you during COVID. I was with you during the time where just Chibnall was like, we're just going to keep pushing it off. We're just going to keep pushing it off. And then COVID made it push off. You know what? No, this is fine. This is fine, baby. We roll with it. But they say that it's going to be in order to set the show up for future series. It was decided rather than bridge the gap with a one-off special, we're choosing to push forward to invest in the long-term future of the show, which ensures that when the TARDIS lands once more, it does so in all its glory. Now, here's the thing that I need to ask Mr. Candyman. What in the heck does this mean? Details of the tender will be announced in due course. Because they also mentioned it for future generations, blah, 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 blah. The BBC will put out Doctor Who out to a competitive tender this year. Mark.
It's basically, basically a tender is basically a person who looks after it. So my understanding in the previous years, we've had Bad Wolf Production tendering for production of Doctor Who.
Okay.
So it's pretty much any studio who wants to take on the role. This is how I'm reading it. Any studio wants to take on the role to produce Doctor Who is up for grabs.
Okay.
So if it was, say, for example, I'm not sure how it is, because it's not going to be like a corporate body per se, like Netflix or Amazon, unless they want to take it on. But BBC will still hold a license to it. It will still remain BBC property. So what might happen is that Netflix may produce the show, and put the money into it to produce the show, but it still belongs to the BBC, which is what it says at the bottom.
Yep.
Does that make more sense?
No, that does. But I do have a little bit of a follow-up question.
Okay.
If you would be able to answer it. In regards to tendering, how is this different, or is this similar to what Disney had?
No.
Or were they just distribution?
Well, Disney had distribution rights and a little bit of say on it, but they weren't tendering it. Even when Disney had the rights, Bad Wolf Production was still the tendering. They were still producing it. They were still making it.
Right.
Okay. While Disney had the rights to show it globally, it didn't have a much say in the production, so they say.
Okay.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, can I?
Go, Sean.
No, you can finish first.
So that is the same principle. So they're looking for someone who's willing to make the show, to look after the show, but the BBC will still control the rights and all its licensing stuff for it.
Okay. Sean?
Yeah, I was just gonna basically second that. I mean, I want to cite not as a primary source, but Council of Geeks. Vera Wild has a channel called Council of Geeks where she talks about this. But yeah, it's basically what I saw as well, that like when you have a production studio that actually produces the show, that's what's being sort of marketed right now to like different production studios. But when you have someone who's actually paying money to distribute the show, like BBC and Disney both paying together, like they pay the production studio. Like the production studio is not the one that's going to be funding it. Like it's going to be the budget is going to be, the budget is going to be what the production studio is going to tell them that they need, and then the studio that's basically owning it, which would be the BBC, and they would be providing the money, and then maybe also the distributor, whether that's like Netflix or whoever, they also be providing the money. But like we basically have to figure out who the production studio is going to be before we even know who the distributor is going to be, right? This is going to be, not to mention a showrunner, right? So it's just all this stuff is still yet to come as far as what we know. So I mean, that's what I heard from Vera Wild, and she's usually really good about verifying things before she just said things. You know what I mean?
Okay, it will still be owned by BBC without doubt. It's a British institution. BBC will own it. Okay.
Yeah, and that was in the press release too. Yeah.
What is interesting, and this is quite, I'm not sure you guys don't know about BBC. BBC is a public funded channel, which everyone who watches the BBC has to pay a TV license. If you go, but because it's a public funded TV, it has a royal charter. So it's a legal obligation for every 10 years. And it gets renewed by the government and the BBC. I'm not sure you can do that, Melanie. If you can.
That was your link, right?
No.
No.
No. If you can pull up BBC Charter, just type in Google. Anyone can see it.
On it.
So the BBC Charter comes to the end of this year. So the government is deciding whether or not to renew the charter, or whether or not which is why a lot of people are in upper arms about paying the TV license.
Is this it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so this is a rule charter. This basically sets out the policies of what the BBC can do and cannot do. Okay. And because it's a BBC, we've got another channel, not just the government. We also got Ofcom, which is like I can't think you got a similar thing out in the States. But if you click on the agreement, you can read step by step in the agreement what the BBC can and cannot do.
Boop. Oh my Lord, it's downloading something.
Yeah, it's a PDF. It's got about 67
for
pages.
PDFs.
But this is coming up for renew at the end of this year. So,
Mark, what did you put on my computer?
You know it is. You know I'm like.
Oh Lord, this is big.
Yeah.
I think for the rest of the show, we should just
hashtag gasp.
Let's just read that for the rest of the program.
So the thing is whether or not they're going to still charge people BBC license
opening document, sure.
Okay. And you can, if you really are bored and you've got nothing else to do, you can actually go through this step by step and read what they can and what they can't do. Okay.
Oh my Lord.
But like I said, this is getting because it's every 10 years.
Ugh.
And as you can see, it was last done December 2016.
Like the part I highlighted?
Yeah, before you highlighted it.
Her Majesty?
Yep.
At the time.
Okay.
At the time, it was Her Majesty.
At the time. Okay.
Yeah.
And that may get completely scrapped. And they might have to go to like a more of a subscription fee, or more like it's all up in the air. So it's not just Doctor Who, it's also BBC coming to that point. Are they going to renew it? Are they going to change the way they're going to model stuff? So if they do change the way of modeling, then that's going to put everything behind.
Okay.
If they keep it the
and
same,
that wouldn't be just Doctor Who. That'd be all their programming.
Yeah, that's all BBC programming.
Yeah. I wish we had that with PBS. I wish they would just we don't have good enough public television in the States. We are really lagging behind. But only in our public television.
But that's what I'm saying. So by 2027, BBC might have to go and show adverts, because at the moment we don't do commercials on BBC.
I've always liked that about the BBC.
It only advertises what they're either showing next or what they're doing or stuff like that. So it's not just an end of the era for Doctor Who. It's also change for the BBC at the end of December.
They make you guys make way better news. I watch BBC News because there's just so much. There's just not the same amount of crap we have in our news. It's just kind of because it's publicly funded, you know. So.
I'm looking for the link.
And this is not the only Doctor Who is not the only show that's been tendered out. They've done this with other shows as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Melanie,
So
can I say
strange?
Oh, I'm sorry, Dave. Jesus.
No,
Christ.
go ahead.
No, you're fine.
Can I say something about the speculation in general, Melanie? Is that okay?
Oh, absolutely. Because I mean, even if I'm going, me trying to find things to show that are official, I have to wade through this has been canceled. I'm like, technically, it wasn't canceled. It's the Christmas special was, but anyway, sorry.
Yeah, and like the speculation, like I just want to say, like the speculation can get annoying. Like, you know, I get it. I know that, and I know the BBC, like they might not like the speculation, but I mean, like there's a couple things the BBC could do if they don't like the fans speculating. Like they could put out the show more consistently and press releases more consistently, and they could not say things like, Shooty got what was always going to stay on for 2 seasons. I know that gets annoying, and you don't want to be a tabloid, and you don't want to be, among those people who've been saying that Doctor Who's going to get canceled since 2015, and it still hasn't. But I mean, like, speculation, like, as long as I think honestly, as long as speculation is not, it's not toxic, like, oh my gosh, Doctor Who is destroyed, Hollywood is doomed. Like, if you're not doing that stuff, I think speculation can be fine. I think it's fun, especially if, the BBC, rule number 1, the BBC lies, right? I mean, we know that. And I think not only is it a big part of fandom, but I think the fans have a right to, but as long as it's not toxic, that's just what I think about the speculation. But it's like, how could we not? Like, we just had another wilderness year. We just had a wilderness period, and then we had some of the show, and then we didn't have anything for a year, and then they're like, that thing we just told you, that's not happening either. It's like, we got to do something to keep ourselves busy. You know what I mean? I think as long as we're being polite and friendly, I think that's perfectly okay.
I mean, they could always, I don't know, release the land between the war and the sea. I mean,
yeah.
That could be a thing.
Yeah.
No, that's a lie. I think by now everyone's VPN'd it. At least stateside. But speaking on that, I'm sharing my screen once more. And this was from RTD's post commenting on it. So fun little picture of the TARDIS. But speaking of speculation, this man comes out and just starts throwing little Molotovs with, will they keep the theme tune? Will they lose the blue box? Russell, seriously, you're just gonna start. He's just starting. Just throw.
It's a cheeky little man,
right? Just the fact that he's like, no, it's fine. It's RTD being RTD, and he's not going quietly away in this good night. He's going to be, he's going to have the last laugh. He's going to, state everything, say, no, this is what's happening, blah, 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 blah. And by the way, here's some talks, here's some topics, talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah. Right. And when he was when he said, like, you can say that I didn't have anything written, but you're going to waiting a long time. And I'm like, is this you yelling at Murray Gold? Because I
kind of read that in a little bit too.
I'm like, I'm sorry, RTD, but like when you say one thing and Murray says another thing, like, do you expect us to not? Did you think no one was watching? As Matt Smith said, like,
for the record, there was no script. I'm like, ¿qué pasa? I never wrote it. I'm like, so I kind of thought, I'm like, are you like I said, like, he's starting to fire little salvos. And I mean, I will kind of agree with no actor was ever approached to play the Doctor, because we were still all in this question marks of Billie Piper, of going, it didn't say, and Billie Piper as the Doctor. We don't even know what that was or what's going to happen, because nothing ever was filmed. I don't know. So yeah, this is the part where we can talk about, was something filmed? Was there a script? Was she just a quick call and, hey, I need you here and I'll figure it out later. Just let's get you regenerated and move on.
I think, to be honest, that was actually used from the first season. Or the first season of Billie Piper regenerating. They did it as fun.
Ooh.
Wait, so let me make sure. So what were you saying? I'm so sorry.
I can't confirm or deny that. That's just a rumor. What I've heard, that Russell T Davies had that footage of Billy regenerating back in when he was RTD1.
Oh, I see.
No, because Billie Piper has come out and said that she filmed that.
Yeah,
she has said that.
Yeah, she has said that it was a very fast turnaround, and that she went in and actually did film that.
Okay,
so that is definitely new footage.
But if you regenerate in the TARDIS, that means that you lie now, because rule number 1, right? So
the Doctor lies.
The Doctor lies.
Fair enough.
And I mean, and like I said, I think the BBC, like, when they were talking about, like, Russell speculating, it's like, will they have the TARDIS? Will they bring this back? I'm like, was Poppy meant to be the Doctor's daughter? Was Susan secretly in the season, and then we had to delete the footage and actually get Billie Piper in at the last second? Like, who knows? Who knows, Russell?
I will say one thing. I'm glad. I love Russell. I have no problem with the Shurigatwa era and the RTD2 era. I have no issues with that. I'm glad he's leaving, because the worst thing that has ever happened to Doctor Who is every interview that he has done in his modern era. He keeps opening his mouth and the world explodes. And it's so frustrating. It's like, we don't care that a young Davros has legs, but now that you've said we got rid of it for social justice reasons, now you've caused a giant stink. For example.
I mean, Russell is a good guy. It's kind of hard, I think, to like. I've never really been like angry at Russell. Like, and Lord knows, like I was angry at Chris Chibnall. I'm not too ashamed to admit that. But I've never been mad at RTD. And I think to some extent, Dave. I mean, even maybe to push back a little bit on that, I think I don't mind him talking about representation. I don't mind that kind of stuff, because I understand why he made that change, and I don't really want to blame him for what people do. But like, he has that thing, man, where he's just like, just accept what I say. It's like, I know that some of the stuff you said before was not true, so why would I accept everything? Like, that's my only thing, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I'm not mad at him, you know. I'm not like mad at the era, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
no, not at all.
With RTD, he's a showman through and through. He is, you know, just cue the Greatest Showman soundtrack, and that's what he is. I mean, he's going to say the big outlandish kind of thing because he's going to need the attention. He's going to have an insurmountable amount of pride for his work and what he's doing. I mean, that's, I think, a little bit to that artistic vision that, you know, when some artists, you know, absolutely adore, you know, they love their work. And some people, even when it's absolute crap to the major audiences, or, you know, that maybe it's so niche that, yeah, let me rephrase that. Like, if it's just so niche that, you know, only a select few really, really, really like it, even like, I mean, that's just anybody, you know, you're going to have massive works. I mean, even Beethoven had like amazing things and had some stuff that just didn't quite hit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But still, they're going to think, no, this is the greatest thing ever. This is the best thing since sliced bread, blah, 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 blah. And so you're going to have RTD being that great showman. And here he came back because all his stuff aged very, very well, you know, on the whole, because everybody, as the nostalgia of people who watched back then kind of got, you know, we aged up and went, no, 10 was the greatest thing. And then 11, you know, or I'm sorry, like 9 was great. And then 10 was great. And, you know, blah, 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 blah. Now, I think he really kind of sat on his laurels and was, again, that's which you need, and he's bringing it back, and he's got Disney, and now they've got Bad Wolf, which, I mean, clearly it's his old production, you know, it's his old producers, and we're going to do this, and this is going to be the greatest thing in the world. And now he's got money, and now he's got distribution, he's sitting on top. But I think the bad thing is it's like that pedestal just got taller and taller and taller and taller and taller. So unfortunately, if you slip, it's going to be a lot bigger way to fall.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what happened, especially with one Jenga block, which was Disney going, yeah, we're not going to really put this on the carousel to tell people this is a new episode or anything. He built himself so far up. That's why and it's now that we're all noticing it going,
yeah,
dude, what the heck? Because really, this was only 2 seasons. And we're talking like it's the end it's the end of Doctor Who. We don't know it's going to be like the Wilderness Years back after Sylvester McCoy. And then we had a movie, and then, you know, think about from then to, 8th Doctor movie. But then, sorry, Dave. And then, you know, Eccleston, it's going to be this long stretch. Bro, we just got 2 years. Why are we all just like, you know, tearing our clothes off and throwing ourselves on the pyre? You know, we just... Because we were at such a great height. That's the fall was greater, so it's gonna hurt just a teensy bit more.
I like that now. I like that visual. Melanie, I think it's a good. Okay, not the tearing our clothes and throwing ourselves on the fire.
I went to the Greek funeral people.
Yeah. I meant the Jenga tower. That was a good.
The Jenga tower.
Yeah. But even in the Wilderness Years, we still had stuff.
Yeah.
Back in the day before BBC iPlayer was BBC iPlayer and BBC had its own stuff, we used to have the Cult Box, which was part of like unofficial BBC website, where they did Real Time and Sharda. Because that was Sharda with Paul McGann, the ebooks, the comic ebooks they did.
And
And
did they have audio and stuff?
Fun?
Did they have like audio, or is it just like?
Yeah, no, it was an audio. It was a animation ebook sort of thing. That was when Scream Over Shalka came out, Sharda, and see if I can find it. I'll put the link in the chats because I'm sure there is a way of getting hold of it. Just bear a moment, guys.
I don't want
to. I'll see if I can find it for you.
Tom, what are you doing in the comments?
All the King's horses and all the King's men had scrambled eggs for breakfast.
Okay, now I'm catching it. So I'm like, what the? Okay.
I don't want to flex, but I have Scream of the Shalka on DVD.
Yeah, same here.
I'm a rare Doctor Who fan.
I didn't even think about that and went, oh yeah, that's what that was.
Yeah.
So there was still content. And honestly, we still, at least for the US people, sorry guys, or more or less, sorry Dave, we did get the AMC, we got the AMC announcement. So at least now we have a place where we can watch New Who, not New Who, but we can at least watch that somewhere, because that was a huge gap, because I was watching it on Tubi. I was watching the shooty stuff, but as we were kind of re-reviewing, items, I got rid of a lot of I made the cardinal sin of getting rid of some of my, actual physical media, which I've learned never to do again. But I was watching, sorry guys, but I was watching stuff. Sorry, BBC. Sorry. Blah, blah, blah. I was having to, when we were re-reviewing, I'm on YouTube watching movies and stuff, and I'm sorry, Doctor Who in bites, so that I could remember how this went.
Yeah.
And now that it's on AMC Plus, at least I have another way to watch it. Again, my dear apologies to Dave Chapman and all of our friends in Canada and other places.
In other countries that we just don't
other
know.
Countries.
I have not. It may actually be available, because you have to jump through a few extra hoops to get it, but you can get AMC Plus up here. But there's no guarantee it's the same thing, and I've not seen any announcement saying US and Canada. I've only ever seen US.
Would you be able to VPN that if you had a subscription?
Plausibly. I honestly don't know, because it depends on the service. Some just don't work. They're geo-locked as a service.
Yeah.
Okay.
Others, like Netflix, if I VPN it, then yes, I would have the US Netflix catalog. I don't know, because we have to go through Amazon and go through an extra subscription through that and whatnot. Ooh. So I honestly don't have that answer. Plausibly, but that's also then more money to spend on a good VPN on top of another subscription on top of.
Sorry.
Right. I sometimes wonder if they're gonna. I mean, do you guys remember back when Doctor Who was just BBC America? I mean, people in the UK, you guys have always had like iPlayer and all that stuff, but when Doctor Who was just BBC America, and you could pay for a season of the show on like Amazon or iTunes, and it would honestly be cheaper, because like paying $25 for one season of the show and getting a season pass is cheaper than paying $13.99 a month for 3 months, and you don't even get to keep it. I wonder if they should just do that.
So what's Melanie showing at the moment is a old link which sort of works.
This page has been archived and no longer updated.
You seen what year it was last updated? 2014.
Hey, you know what? But if it works,
it still works. It still works there. It still has some of the stuff on it. I think sometimes you might need Flash, but you can basically get browsers which you can enable Flash on.
I've seen these before. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so Screenshot, Sharda, Real Time. This is the sort of stuff we had in the Wilderness years.
I love them.
And we'll
I remember
presumably
this
still
now.
get more animated lost episodes.
Yep.
So
I certainly hope so.
I'm going to ask the panel a question. Do you think BBC can produce like Doctor Who without another company financially backing it to the same sort of standards as like Stranger Things?
No.
Ooh.
I really don't. The way that politics has woven itself into public broadcasting and trying to defund public broadcasting, I just don't think the money is there, unless they want to go back to, you know, classic Who era budgets and effects.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't fly now.
And I think that's another reason why that bar was raised so high with RTD is the budgets went really high, and now it's this is it's almost like it's the risk reward of going, well, these are the ratings. If so, BBC is shopping around, and again, I'm going to go with more American analogies in my brain. So I apologize if any of this tracks incorrectly, Mark. Please correct me, but I would assume that as BBC is shopping around for somebody to get, you know, to tender this, to say, hey, you want to produce this, right? Most American shows, if they do something similar and they're looking for somebody else to pick it up, produce, blah, 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 they're going to show the latest ratings. They're not going to show, hey, you know, 7 years ago, it did really well for a low budget, but I got to tell you what happened lately. And lately was an astronomical budget with an astronomical buy-in for distribution. And by the by, here's the ratings kind of, because I can at least tell you the ratings for us, but I can't tell you global streaming because there's asterisks on that because some places don't give the numbers or they're not verifiable. So who wants to buy something on question marks?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm hoping because of that reason. Like, I honestly think maybe they should produce it in-house, so there won't be those question marks. But I mean, like, they can, but I don't think they will, and I definitely don't think they can do it to the same standard because I think that's just not practical.
I think that's going to be the problem.
Yeah, like financially they can't do that, but honestly, like, I think the problem with the show right now is the same problem that a lot of other things in the world are experiencing, which is there's just like a small number of rich people handling it because the show is literally all of time and space. You got to keep the character of the Doctor consistent, you know, never cruel, never cowardly, also kind of contradictory, the Doctor of War, yada yada. And you got to keep the fact that he's like a Time Lord from the planet Gallifrey with a blue box. But like that's literally, I think about almost any other show, you're going to have way more restrictive framing than that. And like it's like if you want to save money, like, you know, even if you don't want to do the thing they did in the 70s and like have the Doctor be stuck on planet Earth with UNIT or whatever, like, I don't know, put him in like Australia in the 18th century or something. Like, it's just, I don't know why I really am not trying to criticize the BBC too much because I know there's a lot of moving parts that none of us know about. But like, I don't understand why a show that's literally all of time and space and just don't contradict anything that came before, but actually you can because we do it all the time. I don't know why it's so difficult to get that show on the screen. Like it is the most open show you could hope for, and it's like just do something. It doesn't have to cost that much.
Honestly, I'm sorry, Sean. I giggled a little bit because as you're mentioning this, and it's a very good point. My brain went, you know, there's a quarry you could use repeatedly.
Yeah, right. Did before. Yeah. We're not in Cardiff. What are you talking about? This is totally a different town. This is not Cardiff. What are you talking about?
It's just rocks again. Look, we're on Mars.
Yeah. Or I remember when Sophie Aldred was here. She said she lost something.
Her blue Peter patch.
Yeah, and I was like, it's in a quarry. It's like in a quarry somewhere. But yeah, it's like I don't know. What do you guys think about? Like, I guess I didn't. Sorry, Tom, if you wanted to answer the question as well. But I just don't understand why they can't get it back on the screen when it's all of time and space. That's all.
I think it's going to be financial. I think it's the thing as well. When it went off the Wilderness, it's because the head person didn't like sci-fi. So John Nathan Turner, when he was running the show, his boss did not like sci-fi. So he basically tried to can it and tried to reduce the budget of it to like push it out. Not sure it's going to be happening this time around. I think it was just more that no one wants to take it on because it has got so much lore behind it. Okay, even though you said it's just a blue box and it's got no restrictions, it has a law. If you change the law, everyone's going to get up in arms about it, like Dave was saying earlier on. Okay, and I think this is where people go, okay, what do we do? We can't reset it because we tried to reset it once before. With the idea of Shigatwa was supposed to be a reset.
Yep.
And the same thing with Critical Eccleston was supposed to be a reboot. But because there was so much lore behind Doctor Who, that's where you got problems, because it's trying to work out who do you please. And me and Dave had this conversation. Doctor Who's been going from 1960s. It's spanned over like 5 different generations. And who is your target audience? Are they supposed to be like teenagers? Are they supposed to be adults? Or are they going to be like youth, like under like teenagers, which is where Russell T Davies was aiming for, to get the next generation in. And that's another thing you have to take in mind. Because of how long Doctor Who's been running for, it's basically trying to cater for everyone. But if you cater for everyone, you effectively basically make everyone turn off against it. Like Dave will make mentions about people he knows that love Doctor Who and loved the new version, and I can make a thing about my nephew who completely didn't like the new style.
Yep.
So it can be culture, it can be age, and that's a problem. And until they realise what they can do, I think Stranger Things actually prove that sci-fi can work and can get the masses if you have the right elements in it.
Yeah. I mean, like, oh,
Good
sorry.
storytelling. No, go ahead, Sean. We're just.
No, I just like, I mean, and looking back, like, I definitely do agree that, like, you don't want to make the wrong people mad and, like, you know, try to make it appealing to everyone and appealing to no one. But, like, I think we kind of forget, and I'm not saying you forgot this, but just I kind of forget sometimes, like, Stephen Moffat, he contradicted canon constantly. And, like, we go through, like, people got mad about the sonic sunglasses. People got mad about the TARDIS going, you know, like him leaving the brakes on. Like, that's a kind of a major canon, like, but we don't think about those things nowadays because they were minor and they were kind of for a small infraction for good storytelling, I think. I mean, even like people even forgive undoing the Time War now, which at the time a lot of people didn't like that. It's like, I think the line is like, you know, the timeless children, like, don't do that. Like, I think that's a pretty good line, but like, I kind of just wish, to your point, I kind of just wish they would do it anyway. Like, I kind of just wish, like, you know, shop it to somebody, maybe have someone who's a lore hound who's like, okay, these big, really important things, you can't contradict those, but it's just like, even on a budget, man, it's like, there are incredibly successful, smaller production companies who would love to take on Doctor. And I think sometimes when you have this circle of rich people at the BBC, like, you know, I understand their problems, but when they're just saying, I was like, oh, we can't find, it's like, maybe ask someone who's not a millionaire. You know what I mean? Like, maybe try that. Like, there are so many devoted fan communities. Like, you know, don't hire some rando to run the show, but like, I just don't believe them when they say like, oh, we just can't get this started and we don't have ideas. It's like, I don't know, the number of like the amount of Big Finish and fan series and stuff that like you could tweak to not contradict canon. I think they could do it. I think they could do it easily. But maybe I'm naive. I don't know. I don't work at the BBC, but I just kind of don't believe them.
It's not the canon, it's more the generations. Because if you watch each of the different Doctors over the 63 years we've had Doctor Who so far, each Doctor has its certain style or certain thing aimed for that certain generation of that time. Okay, yeah. And the thing is, like, if you look at the 70s, that was very, very dark and very, very horror. It was jump scares, it was dark, and a lot of kids like it because it was scaring them. And then someone like Mary Whitehouse comes along and says, you can't do that now, it's supposed to be a kids show.
Yeah, Mary Whitehouse.
Okay, you can't basically make these kids afraid. But that's the whole premises of Doctor Who, of jumping behind the sofa and being afraid. And it's a whole thing, but I don't know if Doctor Who can actually redeem itself. I hope it does. I love Doctor Who, but I just think it needs to work out where it's going and what it wants to do. So whoever's going to take it over from Doctor Who needs to have that plan of it's going to basically annoy some people, but this is how we're going to do it.
Yeah, I agree. Because, I mean, wouldn't you say, Mark, that I think this is kind of a step in the right direction, what they're doing now? Like, basically not going with Bad Wolf anymore because it was too insular. But, like, would you not say that the BBC's been a little bit too risk averse? Like, that was like, you know, my whole thing is just kind of like, figure out what you're going to do and just do the damn thing. Like, just try it. I think they've been so, like, would you agree that they've been a little bit too, like, trying to keep it the same, being too afraid to make it different to even know if it's going to work in the first place?
I don't think so. Only because, I mean, RTD, I mean, there was a lot of risks taken, but I think the big thing that assisted with that was they had money. When you have money, you can be risky. Well, he had money and he was risky. But now I don't think they were really risk adverse, because I think because you had RTD being the showman that he is, and that he can get people to believe him, because I mean, it's I'm not saying that he was lying or anything like that. I think he's the type of person that can go into a room and pitch a show and do the pitching, and by the time you're done, everybody in that room loved it and was like, okay, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. And he's going to be that person who's going to, like I say, greatest showman. He's going to tell you that, you know, he's number one. He's in himself is like a great marketing tool, and he liked being risky, and he took risks. But I think he also, I mean, as nicely as possible, I think he thought he was infallible, and that is something you do not need.
I can see that.
Yes.
So I think that was a bless. I'm gonna use a Star Wars thing on George Lucas did the first Star Wars, and it's kind of like a fan knowledge of he made Star Wars, but Marshall Lucas and I forget the name, bless the other editor in there. They were the ones that edited it and had those things to make it what it was. I almost feel that RTD was that type of showrunner, that cook, where he was the only chef in the kitchen. He's going to make his dishes. You're not going to change a damn thing about his recipes. And this is what we're going to serve. And you're going to like it. And then when everybody wasn't exactly liking it, I think he just look at all of his social media posts. My boy just dug his heels in and was like, no, we're double downing. Let's go. And I mean, sometimes that is admirable. And sometimes that works. So to your point again, he took risks, but I think just the risks he was taking, nobody likes to be told you're going to like something, and no one's, you know, and that was my big thing of it. And then I felt like I was being also told, because I wasn't like team, woo, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I was kind of like, it's not singing to me. It became well, that's a you problem. Yeah. I'm here just to be entertained. Believe me, my bar is low, but don't be over here also making my bar suddenly go high when he's the one that's setting the bar high, and you're not jumping up. We're not meeting a standard. So I think he did take risks. It's just the bad thing is the risks didn't go his way.
And some of those risks he was tasked with. He was mandated to come up with a show that would be more quote unquote appropriate for younger audiences. He didn't just walk in with a blank slate going, I'm doing this. He was hired to bring in a younger audience. And he tried to do that, only time will tell how well he actually did succeed. Arguably he didn't. But they've continued with that with the CBBS. They've just taken it down from let's see if we can get some 12-year-olds to let's see if we can get some 2-year-olds.
Yeah.
And it's the same process. It's them trying to do things to bring in the next generation or the next generation's generation of fans. And it, unfortunately, with Disney, they went all in on that partnership, which was a risk in itself, and it failed. Like, they canceled merchandising licenses left, right, and center. And going with, I presume, and this is entirely my own theory here, that Disney was going to pick up all of the merchandising because if there's one thing the mouse is good at, it's merchandising.
That was my assumption in the beginning too, at least stateside.
Yeah, and it just didn't fly that way. And I think Disney went, oh, this is not going as perfectly as we want, so we're just going to bail on it rather than try to fix it. And I think the biggest risk was the move to Disney and to try to get that young, which in itself is an attempt to get down. They're going to Disney, not Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
They're Disney Plus has a certain age expectation to a certain extent, not entirely. I mean, they've also got the Punisher on there, but I haven't watched it yet. I'm not caught up in my Born Again either. I'm looking forward to it. But so we'll see. I think whoever takes over, and Pete Matai is definitely someone who I'd love to see come on as a showrunner. I think he did a great job with Land of the War in the Sea. I think he needed another 2 episodes to do it properly. But,
did you know that he also did the Doctor Who limited edition Blu-ray? Some of the extra features in those.
I don't think I did. No.
Yeah,
which is cool.
I have a question for Mark,
okay.
And also maybe Dave, but also your perspective again outside of the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a thing I just kind of went, oh, maybe this was also a problem in Canada and in the UK. Is it common, or have you heard of production companies, what have you, whether it's film, TV, whatever, produce something, get either to the halfway point, the finished point, what have you, and then go, nah, we're not going to air it because we can get a tax write-off?
Not that I'm aware. I've not seen that in Canada with Canadian productions. I'm not saying it didn't happen, and I've just missed it, but I've not seen it, not nearly to the extent, especially as the US tends to do that.
And that's
we suck.
Yeah, because that's something that the US does. And looking at honestly, we're looking right at Disney going, you're pretty much doing that with the War and Sea. And we have this whole track record of other companies and just closing something up. Heck, again, Disney saying, what Galactic Star Cruiser that's now offices. I'm sorry, what? But when it comes to at least entertainment media, it was a Supergirl. I think there was Batgirl. There was there's y'all had it in the can. We were done. Just air it, and they went. No, it's easier just to make it a tax write-off. So I almost wonder if that's another thing that now has to be in the BBC's purview to think, oh God, if we give this to could that have been another thing of them going, why didn't Disney, push that? Why did they push it? Why didn't they show it with the War and Sea? So now I almost wonder if that was another reason that kind of helped break this apart, where, again, pontificating here, because good old U.S. companies, that's what we do. We think for tax write-offs, and we'll just can it. People don't ever need to see the light of day. BBC, on the other hand, is they're searching for things that they want to bring back to the light of day, especially with this property.
Yeah, the problem with BBC, like I said, it's not technically a business, but even though it is run like a business because it's public funded.
Is ITV like a private corporation, though?
Yeah, ITV, Channel 4, every other channel in the UK. That's why all those other channels have to get their revenue from commercials.
Would ITV write something off like that?
Yeah, probably. Very unlikely. What normally happens, they basically have like slots, and they have to fill in the slots, whatever program it is. And whether or not they import the show from the US or whether or not it's in-house show they make. But being perfectly honest with you, most of the UK TV free-to-air channels are struggling against the digital airwaves and the streaming services.
Mm-hmm.
People are putting money into the streaming services, and how can you compete to build something like Amazon Prime and stuff like that? Think how many people in the world subscribe to Amazon Prime? How many people subscribe to Netflix in the world?
Yeah.
Okay.
Millions and millions.
Okay, and then you got a population of England only about 68 million people in it.
Yeah.
Remember, UK is basically a fifth of Texas.
I think I did the math back in the and it worked out to being the worldwide Disney Plus subscriptions came out to 98% not the UK or more compared to, and that was comparing it to like every TV license in the UK.
Yeah.
If at 100% of those people had Disney Plus, it would still be a negligible amount compared to Disney Plus. So I can definitely see that. And other streaming services, I presume, are similar in their volume.
So I think it's going to be, the thing is, it's all about the money.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you guys. Well, I mean, I think first of all, speaking of Disney and the BBC, I think we should just take a moment to mourn what could have been going to Walmart and seeing little TARDISes with little Disney plush stickers on them in the $5 bin, you know, and seeing Doctor Who posters in the toy section at the mall or whatever. Like, I think we should take a second to mourn that. But I didn't really ask, like, and if Melly, if you're okay with this, I don't know how we're doing on time, but I wanted to know.
This is not like a normal episode, so as long as we want to stay here and as long as people keep watching, we can just.
We should stay here until next. We should stay here until next Tuesday. That's what we should do.
We're gonna be here forever.
No, we're going to stay till the next episode. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Next game.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, what did you guys think of the Christmas special getting canceled? Because for me, like, part of me didn't think it was going to be very good to begin with, but I still wanted it. We didn't really talk about our reaction to that happening, like you know, and I'm not like necessarily like but I was just curious what you guys thought.
Okay, I put a complaint in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to
the BBC. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because what I've done now, I went to watch Reality War, and on BBC iPlayer, and they've actually removed the show returning 2026 on it, because you know when it first aired, I rewatched it on BBC iPlayer, and they haven't got that message on there anymore.
Yeah. Ooh. They 1984 did, huh?
Yep.
It never happened.
The joy of the digital age.
Yep.
And they wonder why we question them sometimes.
Yeah.
What did you think, Dave and Melanie? Oh, sorry, and Tom and Mark, you weren't done talking.
So because I just feel like it was advertised, therefore they need to keep up to it, to public's thing. Yes, it probably, if we did do it, it probably won't be that great, but at least we got something.
Mm-hmm.
With RT Davis saying, well, and BBC saying, well, if we don't get it, we can put it on hold, so we might get a better show if we take our time with it. Or we may not even get it. It may be another 15 years. What was it? 1989 to 1996. How many years was that? And then 96 to 2005. Was that 15 years, 16 years of wilderness?
Yeah.
I can't even do math anymore.
Yeah, 89 to 2005 is 16 years.
Yeah. So we've got like 16 years to wait. Are we going to wait around on the show for 16 years to get another episode or two? And like I said, the whole BBC may be changing by the end of this year.
And that might be part of why they've canceled it too.
Yeah.
Is if there's that much turmoil behind the scenes that we don't know about, that would, and we know that they are tendering it out and trying to find a new production partner. And they're trying to find another streaming partner, because those are two entirely different processes.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna, there's so many balls in the air that I think, as much as I hate that the Christmas show has been canceled, I think it will result in a better show, because we're not going to be locked into this. We'll be in the same spot. Okay, great. Now we have Billy Piper. We don't know what's going on. at the end of the Christmas episode, Billie Piper would be regenerating, theoretically.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Or at the very least, will have been explained what she's doing there, and will then be locked into that and have no idea what's going on going forward anyway. So this way they can integrate that into whatever new series comes up. Whether that's maybe we get 2 or 3 episodes with Billie Piper. As not, and I say this with all seriousness, 2 or 3 episodes of Billie Piper as not the Doctor. So that we get, and then we get a regeneration scene on episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
Or something that get, and completely out of the blue.
Mm-hmm.
I would love for something like that. One of my favorite comic book series of the 90s was Shadowhawk, and it came out in multiple miniseries, and it wasn't until the end of the second miniseries that you found out who this superhero was. It was a big mystery of what character of all of these characters in the show was actually this superhero, and you didn't find out for 2 whole series. I would love for something like that in Doctor Who. It would have to be done very well. And I think the same part of the fandom that will squawk no matter what happens would definitely squawk.
Well, of course.
But they're going to squawk no matter what happens.
Yeah.
If it's so.
So just getting back to the money side of it.
Yeah.
So BBC is losing, if I just double check, roughly £1 billion a year in licensing fees. Because people are basically getting fed up with the BBC with whatever reason they want to do and stop paying because they don't watch BBC. And so they're saying, well, I don't watch BBC, don't watch BBC iPlayer, I don't need my TV license. Then they changed the goalpost in the UK to say anything which is live TV, you still need your TV license.
Mm.
So, and now people go, okay, we moved over to streaming services and we watch YouTube, and now BBC are going, well, okay, we're now going to put our stuff on YouTube now. But this has only happened in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
so now if you watch YouTube, you're technically watching BBC content, so therefore you need a TV license. So more they're trying to basically move the goalpost so you have to pay for your TV license. More people are going to say, right, okay, we're not having a TV license.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where the whole argument of what the 2027 is going to be about, whether or not the model which you had in the 1920s is still relevant to today's model.
You
And,
think
like,
that would be them moving it into their taxes, into that?
So one of the things I'm thinking of is basically adding in a tax to your council rent, or your council tax. So you don't pay your TV license, but do more like I think Germany does this. They pay the TV license through the council tax.
What is a council tax?
Council tax is basically you pay your money for your like services like your trash, your police, your fire station.
That's a municipal level.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so that's like one of those added fees that we have for us would be like a county tax, but our county tax is usually it's a line they build somewhere. So something like whether it's my water, sewer, trash.
Yeah.
It's built there.
Yeah. So sewage and stuff like that. But they were thinking about trying to introduce your TV tax into that as well.
And I'm not so like this is not me discounting anything you just said, Mark. Like I guess I'm just, and I promise this is the last time I'm going to say this in this episode. I guess I'm just really I know there are financial troubles at the BBC right now. I'm aware of that. I just don't understand, I guess, because like I'm a Yankee, right? Like, so I have a slightly skewed perspective on this, but like there are production companies in New York City, like right now, that you could go to and be like, okay, we're going to let you partner with us to create Doctor Who. Here's $150,000 per episode. Here's $100,000 a year to pay your showrunner. Here's some money to pay your actors. Hire the best people you can. Hire the best writer you can. Make sure someone understands the lore. Give us 8 episodes. Make it great. We'll see you in a year. And we could probably have Doctor Who on the air in 2 years or 1 year.
But the problem is, Sean, you haven't got that 150,000 in the first place because your people who's paying you that money for your public taxes of your TV license fee, I'll stop paying for it now. So you've now only got 75,000 to pay with, rather than 150,000, and that's where the problem lies.
Yeah,
it's also the value of the program. So it's a difference between this is worth 100,000, 200,000, a million, 3 million, 18 million. So that's where I almost think going back to like the Christmas special being gone. I'm still on that asterisk of, so you're telling me that you didn't have anything in the can, filmed, whatever, and you were going to release something in 6 months. Okay, and now that you'd say, oh, no, that we never did anything. So you were just not planning on doing anything? So there's some fibbing going along, and there are more goalposts, to your point. I mean, there's more goalposts, I'm stealing your analogy, being moved all over the damn place. But okay, fine, we don't have the Christmas special. Y'all are saving money. Whether it's because you stopped halfway, you didn't do it in the beginning, or you did have it and you're taking a tax write-off. Whatever, you're saving money. It's because of the complexities that have been brought up in by our conversation, and especially a lot of the stuff that, Mark, you've brought a lot of the information of going that sweet British perspective of knowing, oh, so that's what the hell a tender is. And the BBC being broke, and, all this kind of fun stuff. Speaking to the valuation of it, to like Sean's point, and like, everything here, maybe it being canceled, maybe it waiting until the BBC figures out what the hell's going on with their charter and their agreement. And by waiting and waiting and waiting, yes, that could bring the demand for what's being supplied, because maybe there's just demand's not there right now. Maybe that demand will go up. But more importantly, the value of the show will go down, because the good thing with at least the Wilderness years is after 16 years, that show, I'm just spitballing, that wasn't like a 10 million, that wasn't worth, $1.3 billion. It might have been reduced down to like a bargain basement, 2 million. It's like a house. The house has been on the market forever. At some point, the real estate's going to devalue. And it almost seems like this is more like along the house analogy with the BBC. They're waiting for a 2008 bubble to burst for the housing market so that all their programming gets a little cheaper and that they can afford doing all the things they want. Because right now, I think Disney and RTD and Bad Wolf, that bar got raised so bloody high. As much as we've all said, like as fans, it's like, I don't mind if you cut the salary a little bit. The budget doesn't have to be skyrocketed, but that's when you have to go into, like, have your accountants go in there and all your bean counters go in there and go, all right, so did the showrunner, and I'm guessing, I'm not saying, did administrative people really need to be paid $3 million per episode? Could they have been paid only $1 million? That kind of stuff has to happen. And I think maybe by being on the shelf for a little bit, it might help the valuation go down. And it's unfortunate that Doctor Who might have needed a reset. So
there's something to be said that with that, though, in that at least at the beginning of the Disney Plus era, Doctor Who, according to the public releases of their financials, Doctor Who was still the most profitable property that the BBC owned. So
what was it, EastEnders?
No, EastEnders may have taken it back over in the second season. I only remember. I remember having this conversation during the first season of Doctor Who. Before I think some of that merchandising, the destruction of the merchandising machine really kicked in. But I mean, you don't want to leave it to a point where your golden goose dies of old age.
Right.
You don't really want that. But I think Tom had a thought. I saw a note. Tom, do you have a thought?
Yes, let's go. It's been so long now. Everyone's talking. I forgot.
It was 3 minutes. Oh, sorry.
3 minutes.
3 minutes ago is a long time.
Let's see. Like,
seriously,
here's an example. We talk about Masters of the Universe, how it did not hit box office numbers. It was like, to break 400 million, they would be breaking even. But because it was through Amazon, and Amazon already made their money through advertisements. So they already made the billions of dollars there. And there's just push it forwards to, yes, you can now order the DVD, Blu-ray for UK, whatever the thing is, on Amazon right now. So the money is there. They're not saying, traditionally this is how it was. We're going to do it another way. We're planning and plotting to find out the BBC is going through this. Okay. Yes, it was. So I hadn't known about this until Mark said so. We knew RTD was leaving. We already knew that. We already knew by allegedly.
Yeah, I knew you were looking for that.
Disclosure, spoilers maybe. There were 3 stories. And it's been hinted, at least one of them. It's not right, Clarence. It's not right. But, when someone, like I say, my situation, which some people know, I will not disclose anything. So it's no one's business but mine. When it's told that, everything's going to work out, we're going to have all this going on and everything. And I say, no, I don't trust that until I actually see proof in the pudding. Because you can say anything you want, but at the last second, something changes. The cards change. Someone does something aggravating and causes more problems. So the term "take it with a grain of salt," which disturbed me to no end and triggered everyone else about that. Yes, that's what we believe. We believe everything is in 2 weeks. But we're just trying to keep a positive note because we say, yes, just coming out. No, there's turmoil. We don't know about these things. That's the problem. We'll never know. Now, earlier this morning when I caught I was at the very end and then the Melanie was on. That's why I put question marks from Facebook. Someone I know, I may have interviewed him, I don't remember anymore. He posted about things happening. And his comment was, it's a poison chalice at the moment, to be honest. It's a poison chalice at the moment, to be honest. That's his quote. I stated, this is from someone I know who has done some other work related to Doctor Who in the field. He won't touch Doctor Who. For him to say it's a poison chalice, no, he will not deal with any of it. So whatever turmoil and bickering and who's bigger and such, let them deal with it. We will never know. And I think about, also mentioned earlier from a former panelist of the Legend Traveling TARDIS, an old friend of mine, he was quite bold in saying that he lied to us, RTD did. He promised a return knowing fully well that he wasn't going to do it. Ethics much? No. Everything that RTD number 2, this newer version of him, did, yes, it was quite discerning on things like you changed Davros because you had this guy just you did this, you did that, so Doctor Who is like this. Why are you making such statements to push people away? I mean, it's understandable for a show that's been on since '63. Things had to change. That's why the regeneration, because Bill was falling ill, so we replaced him with Patrick being regeneration thing, and things were going the way they were. So let's have a third Doctor on Earth. So everything changes slightly here and there. When the whole reboot of RTD, which Christopher saw in the first place, nope, not going to do it. Nope. And everyone falls in love with David and Matt. Bringing in Peter Capaldi, my favorite new Who Doctor, who was bringing back the traditional Doctor Who, but people didn't like it. They said, that's old man. I don't like things. It's like, what? So they said, well, let's bring back the idea of bringing in a female Doctor, which I love Jodie. I saw Jodie at Mega Con, so thank you, Faith, for being my handler. I have my screen frozen. So I'm playing Candy Crush Soda Saga at the same time. But all these little changes here and there, just trying to, based on the generations and how things are going with Disney. I mean, that was a choice because they also had their whole things in there with bring someone back and thinking, oh, things aren't working right, let's bring him back. And why did you do that? RTD, well, he was but for RTD being so successful bringing in Doctor Who, even though Christopher was the one that knew it all along, that's no. They saw if things can work out right because of what Chibnall did, and the Timeless Children is like, why? And the idea of, as Dave mentioned about Billy, I considered Billy, yes, she's not the Doctor. She looked into the TARDIS at the end of series 1. So her essence is within the TARDIS. The moment with Sir John Hurt, dealing with that bad wolf girl. So her presence is there. Doesn't mean that she was the Doctor. It just means her essence, her image, her appearance to make people see what was going on was there. And wow, it's only 1 o'clock. So all these things.
For Mark, it's almost 1 o'clock.
It feels like 1 o'clock. I got to work tomorrow. So all these changes, people have the ideas. Everyone's gonna have some ideas, but I still think back, and since I'm a huge Red Dwarf fan, the boys from the Dwarf. We talked about, and as Dave talked about it. As Lister, I can't remember his real name anymore. He mentioned how was sent to America and it's supposed to be some big thing, so they would make the millions, and there would never have been a season 6, 7, or 8. He and Danny would have lost out for Red Dwarf, but since it failed so badly, that's why we still had Red Dwarf in the UK. It cannot be reproduced in America. We do have our comedies here and there, which taken from Britain, many shows, and they have worked out famously. All in the Family, The Office, and there's just a few names there. Sanford and Son was remade for American Sanford and Sons. So things like that. As we see with Doctor Who movie, the idea of if Doctor Who movie took place, then the Daleks would have been more spider Daleks, and the Cybermen would be more humanoidal, alien-looking facials. And
that's actually a really good point. Sorry to step on you, Tom, but movies.
Yes.
Do you think that could be a possibility that we would see? Is that while it's canceled, we might get a Doctor Who movie? Just something small, just to or maybe even short form or something like that.
Something more Shada or
in that kind of
force
vein.
Like that. Yeah, just to give us something to keep us going and be entertained with. So
kind of keep the brand going, keep the value of the brand at least somewhat there, so it's not just plummeting into a free fall. But so maybe, but again, I don't know, because from now learning the whole charter and agreement piece makes me go, maybe that could be the step, that platform after the fact of it, kind of go, okay, well, we're just going to bring it back as a little mini series kind of thing, kind of like what they, because I've been saying RTD had two seasons with Shooty, and I stop and go, no, he also had brought back Tennant and the little mini series thing with Tennant and Tate. So maybe they do that kind of thing again.
I think we could have a movie. We could have something. I mean, you guys, I'm sorry for the pertinacity with which I'm maintaining this point, but Mark, you mentioned we could. Well, you didn't mention this part, but we could have a movie, or even what you said, Mark, about the $75,000. If the budget got cut back and we only had $75,000 per episode, even then, there are production companies in LA that if you told a middle of the line production company that is trying to prove themselves, trying to get on the map, and especially one that has a Doctor Who fan who's an executive or something, you're all right, you got one shot, we're gonna give you this, make this really excellent, and they're professional and stuff, we're gonna give you this much for effects, it's not gonna be much, but if you can do this, we'll let you produce the show and we'll give you more money. there are studios that are small and would knock it out of the freaking park with $75,000. You can do so much more with $75,000 than you used to be able to. That's why it's, or you could do one movie and put it all in one.
You wouldn't be able to afford talent for that price.
Yeah, I think you can't. Like, that's the thing, though. I think maybe I'm just naive, but there's like the millionaire mindset. I think in the BBC and other companies, it's like people are incredibly good at finding talent. It's just sometimes companies are risk averse and they don't want to go with some of the best doctors we've had have been smaller name doctors, and I feel like we've left that era now of like the small name actor. It's like find somebody who's like, I don't know, in a small outskirts town of England who's like, acting up a storm in like indie films and winning a bunch of awards. It's like, find somebody like that. You don't have to pay them $3 million for it. It's like, I don't know, man. It just frustrates. Maybe I'm just really, really naive, but like, I feel like there's a lot of people that if they might not be big people, but if you gave them the chance, they would absolutely, they'd be locked in with 8 Mile. You only got one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow.
Yeah.
This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. I feel like they would do that. That's just me. That's my piece. I won't say anything else about it, though.
No, Sean, you raise a good points, and I think that's probably where it might have fallen down. Like, we are getting a situation where we're trying to compete, get the good names in, but a lot of the stuff originally with what makes BBC and ITV good was getting actors who basically are starting off. Okay, I don't think Patrick Troughton was. Patrick Troughton was already an actor, big star. But say for someone like Matt Smith. Matt Smith is the perfect example of a person who's gone from Doctor Who and then gone over to Hollywood. Same thing with Karen Gillan. But the downside now of that is they probably won't come back because they've tasted Hollywood money, and they won't come back to UK with the same sort of price, because UK and US have completely different pay structures because the UK can't afford it. So I think the thing is, you got it right. They can do it if they really wanted to it, but would they do it? Which is a different question.
Just for
go on, Melanie. What are you going to say?
I was just going to say, just for funsies, I wanted to know what the for Stranger Things, what was their episode per, how much was it per episode? And again, I know their last season, you're going to be paying your actors a lot more, blah, blah, blah. But for their first season, it was with a bunch of no-name actors. Granted, it's a larger cast, but they were kids. $6 million per episode.
Yeah. They did have Winona Ryder, though.
But even then, it's like that. It's renting. It's just the production value. Like if you're renting the Red, if you're going to shoot on a Red camera, Panasonic, the Red, or some other Panasonic camera. I was just thinking and Lord knows just the ADR. But anyway, sorry, I went into
another thing.
Went fiscal.
Another thing that comes up with the difference between a small company and a big company. A lot of the budget for the Disney era went to making sure that it was shot in 4K. Not in just regular high definition or less. And unfortunately, not very many small studios are going to be able to invest in that 4K. And unfortunately, that's becoming the standard.
Yeah, they have to rent that equipment.
Yeah. So, and
most viewers wouldn't
cheap.
even notice. I don't even think most viewers would notice, though. Like,
doesn't matter. It's not now. They wouldn't notice.
Now they would, because I hate to
look at
money being money. It's sorry, Dave. I legit just went and saw a freaking 60-inch television for $200. We've at some point flipped where necessities and the excessive kind of things and the frivolities of like are the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. At some point, like nowadays, those two things flipped where you can afford rent, but if you want a car or if you want a TV, that's going to set you back some money. Now we're the other way, where how many televisions would you like to see in your house? Rent is basically 5 televisions. Huge ones, 4K.
Yeah, blah, 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 for real.
So that's why they got to shoot on that now.
And if you think about it, Sean, think about it this way: if you watch something old, can you tell you're watching something old just from looking at it?
Yeah.
Because of the quality of that era.
I mean,
4K is what we're going into, and that will keep things from aging as much when you have that higher quality.
That's true, but I mean, if you think about it, like most viewers don't have television. Like most viewers don't have televisions big enough to tell the difference between 4K and 1080p.
I agree with that.
You know, that's all I meant. I'm not disagreeing with you, but
yeah, it's not necessarily even a now thing so much as it is a tomorrow problem that they're trying to address today as a standard. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Mark.
I'm trying to think now. I was going to say, I've lost my train of thought now, but I was going to say that to Sean, I've got a 55-inch 4K high definition TV in my bedroom, and I'm about 2 meters away from it. So every time I watched it, when I'm not on here, I watch this show, it's in 4K. One of the things I also was going to say is that if you did do a movie, and it's like one movie, it's going to have a certain stylization of it. And then if you change it to another movie production company, they're going to change that stylizations.
Yeah.
And the best way to describe it, even as it's the same film studio, the two Peter Cushing films had a slightly different style to them.
No, they did.
And that's one of the same company. And so if you do it with the small production companies, A, they're going to have a struggle of how they're going to film it, and B, they're going to like struggle is they're going to have the same sort of feel, or are they going to do it slightly differently? It's like the same thing with when Jodie Whittaker's era came out. They changed the music slightly. Okay, it's got a slightly different theme tune to the Jodie Whittaker's compared to Sri Gatwa's Going Old came back. I can't remember who did the music to
Seigu Nakano. Sorry.
Yeah,
I should have waited for you to Seigu
No,
Nakanola.
that's fine, Sean, because I got absolutely can't remember his name. And it's got, and each person is going to have a different style and different feel to each show. And this is what we're saying about like half an hour ago. Each generation will have its own feel to Doctor Who, and it comes back to is what is your target audience. Remember, US audience and UK audience and Australian and New Zealand have different views what is good and what is bad in what we watch. Like even our humor is different. You can see like with Blackadder and Monty Python. Okay, Blackadder didn't really go over to the US that well because it's UK humor. The same thing like what Tom was saying, and I agree with Tom. Red Dwarf has a certain British humor to it. So if you understand British humor, you'll probably enjoy it. US may not get it. Who was he? What was the show which died really quickly? IT Crowd. IT Crowd went really big in the UK. They did one series, I think it was one series or one episode, and they canned it.
Yeah.
Oh, they tried porting it over, and it was terrible. Oh my lord, it was terrible. We love the UK version.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Most Americans like that.
Them trying to make the porting it over version absolutely didn't work. And honestly, for The Office, it worked because they knew that they needed. The Office worked because they changed it completely to this is an American office setting. This is an American worker. Here's the American humor. They really had to kind of play with that. And even then at the beginning, they realized with an American office, they couldn't make Michael Scott be bad. They couldn't have the American audience did not want to see a bad boss. A dumb boss, sure, but it was a different type of dumb than David Brent. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah, they made him way sympathetic.
But I agree, it's different.
It's different, okay, and it's different demographic, and so we're discussing that, and I bet Canada has a different point of view as well.
Yeah, we're kind of halfway in between. We have a lot more now. Again, that's changing. Demographics of population change constantly, but growing up, we had a very large British. You know, we are a Commonwealth country, so we have a little bit closer humor than to the British than the US does.
You guys recognize The Crown, I think, right?
Yeah.
Is that what it says? Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. No, right now we're America 250. Woo! Sorry.
Yeah. It's kind of funny that like
it's everywhere.
Like right after you guys got the never mind. But yeah, you guys can make fun of us. It's okay.
Yeah,
we kind of deserve
we do.
it right
Don't worry.
now.
Yeah, we do it all the time.
We welcome it.
I guess it really just it all really just depends on like how badly do you want the show on the screen? Because for me as a fan, like I don't mind big changes. I just want them to make the show. But I also understand for the BBC, like they have to think about demographics. They have to think about like, is this going to tank the brand if people don't like it? Like I understand all of that. So those are good. Those are really good points that you bring up, Mark.
Yeah, remember, it's 50 years. It's pretty much like Paddington Bear, EastEnders, and Doctor Who are like British institutes. Like they have statue. They've got a TARDIS outside Earl's Court train station. Okay, it is literally Doctor Who is British, and that's the heart. I can't. Like I said, I was born. Doctor Who was out before I was even born. Okay, so it's that well established. So it is like a British institution. The question is, so is the BBC, and it's all about the changes which are coming in December or what's going to happen. It may not even change. It may go, you know what, we're just going to carry on how we are, and the government will just sign it off.
Yeah.
Hooray!
It's coming with its own set of political problems, but that's another show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, as a person, you Mark, who pays for the TV license, thank you very much for funding one of my favorite shows.
Thank you.
Let's just say some people in the U.S. Reap the rewards of BBC iPlayer without paying into the system. So thank you for supporting the moochers. We would if they would let us. If they just let us subscribe to BBC iPlayer, they would get so much more money. I would do it today.
I'm such a bad person. So if buying if buying isn't owning, then piracy isn't stealing.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Amazon, with a buy the movie. Yeah, it's not yours anymore. I'm sorry, what?
Oh yeah.
Game
suck it back up into the. Yeah, you never bought that. What are you talking about?
What is? I know. This is going a little bit off topic before I have to leave. But you know that anti-piracy on VHSs with. Like you wouldn't steal a car, you wouldn't steal a handbag.
Yes, yes.
The IT crowd, yeah.
Do you know the ironic thing is?
What?
The music they used was copyrighted.
That's so funny. You wouldn't steal a baby. You would.
I'm thinking about that IT. You wouldn't steal. You want to steal a hat and then do something in that hat and put it back in a box.
Right, guys, I'm going to have to leave you because it's just past 1 o'clock. But guys, carry on because I'm going to probably switch it on my 55-inch 4K TV to carry on watching you guys. But
and I apologize because I never updated my camera on here. Where I have other podcasts who yell at me for going get a better camera, and I'm like,
hey, my orange circle is in 4K. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah. Oh, it's 4K. I thought you was going to say 8K, Sean. I thought you was going to upgrade the market now.
Now you're playing with power. It's in 16K. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you, Mark. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Mark. Where can we find you? Do your normal
you can find me at the Instagram thing. I'm not sure if guy is here. Instagram /cyborg T100_cosplay. You can also find me. Thank you, Tom. Here you can find me here. And you can also find me here, there and everywhere. Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Try and think where else. You can find me probably hanging around with John and Hugh Entertainments at some point. If you basically YouTube in, let's say, since we're back in the wilderness years, it's fan-based film production where we make our own little stories, mainly unit and stuff like that. And we cross over stuff on it. But yeah, you can find me here, there, and everywhere. And like I said, there's a new convention coming in. I said this yesterday. There's a new convention coming out in November, which is one of our penalties called Gallifrey Gathering, which is in November. So check that out as well if you're in the UK and feel like going to a brand new Doctor Who convention.
No.
Oh, I found it.
There it is.
Yeah. say? Oh, sorry. I was going to make a joke at your expense, saying about the Bears moving to Indiana, and apparently the Chicago lawmakers were like, "No, it needs to stay. They need to stay in Chicago." They're trying to block the move.
Yeah, Bears. I'll be so disappointed if the Bears did move to Indiana. I'll be like,
yeah. But anyway, yep. So quick little note. Go to bed.
No, see you later, guys. Have fun.
Good night.
Good night. So we are, guys.
Do you have any chats? Sorry.
The only one was the latest one was Sean is in 60T.
What's that?
I don't know. Assume it's bigger than 4K. How about that?
It's bigger than 4K.
Yeah.
60T. Yeah. So I know we saw some people, but we are at the 2-hour mark. So I don't know if anybody else wants to use this as a time where we can we're good. We can call it, because I think we've pontificated enough about.
Yeah, we've gone around in circles a few times
about the future of Who. So once again, thank you everyone who's stuck around and been in the chats and watching us as we learn a little bit more about the state of BBC and how everything's been playing around there. So that was really neat having Mark here to kind of bring his opinion or share his perspective. Once again, if you're joining us very late, the reason we're saying this, you've already probably noticed BBC made the announcement. You can go on to any of their social media pages about their Doctor Who social media pages to talk, and they'll see the official announcements about the BBC, Bad Wolf, and RTD have completely parted ways. And from there, everybody's making the content right now because, heck, we're usually on Tuesdays, and here we are on Friday because we needed to talk about it because we're all in a, okay, it's happening. We finally got something because we were in our own little cut of what's going to go on. So thank you again for joining us as we kind of chit chat around. And as Dan said, very informative tonight. And I agree because I learned stuff. And you're welcome for our time. And I thank everyone here for their time. I'm going to go around and call y'all out. So I'm calling you out. So Reverend Amagon, my beloved Tom, where can we find you? He's whispering. That's awesome. Lord. Anyway, you can find him at youtube.com/ I'm driving, buddy. Let's go.
Really? youtube.com/ I'm driving, buddy. Let's go. That's very interesting.
Me not writing it down as well. Someone record that. It's hilarious. Okay, when I do get back, I still need a little more time. But I would be doing more snack reviews and things as the tarots say everything's going to go. So I'm going with that. And let's see, also, as she was on her Gadget Pendragon After Dark, which
at the beginning of the show. Yes, please follow that so you can follow her.
And what else is on besides us? Oh, that's right. Okay. So that leaves
We'll go around the corner. We'll keep going around. So, Dave, your turn.
Hey.
Where can we find you?
You can find me all over the YouTubes. You can find me every other Monday, including this past Monday, on Horses on Film. youtube.com/@horsesonfilm, where we talk the 100 best Westerns of all time. It's a great show. We just dropped in one on Johnny Depp in Dead Man. That was this past Monday, so check that out. You can find me the first Thursday of every month, along with Melanie Dean, on Happiness Patrol, youtube.com/@happinesspatrol show. We just had our Back to the Future episode, which Melanie was not on, but our next episode is Labyrinth, coming up on the first Thursday of next month. It's going to be so much fun. Please join us. It's movies that make us happy is our theme for this year. So please come join us. And in between all those, you can find me on my own channel, youtube.com/therathole, DOTCA. That's therathole.ca, but YouTube does not like URLs in their URLs. And
I thought you were going to say, when you said Johnny Depp, I was thinking Lone Ranger.
That's what I thought too at first. I'm like, ooh,
that is not.
Gonna have an army.
Spoiler, that is not on the 100 best Westerns of all time.
No.
We may end up doing an episode on it someday, but only because it needs to be done. But it's definitely not 100 best.
No.
100 worst westerns of all time.
So, continuing on, Sean, where can we find you?
Yes, you can find me on youtube.com/ourphilosophyis9119. And yeah, I talk about a lot of things. I haven't been uploading much recently / at all, so I'm not going to BS you guys. I upload very sporadically because I like it here so much on the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. This is mainly what I'm doing now. So instead of plugging all the stuff I've done in the past, I have done some pretty cool Doctor Who stuff, including ranking the Doctor's Riz. That's one of my favorite videos I've done. But yeah, you can find me here, and I just want to say Happy Pride again, because it's still Pride Month. And hope you all have a great night.
I have to admit that I'm doing the same thing. I'm not doing my stuff. I'm just on here just to shadow produce, just to keep me going. So it's all good.
And we're glad you're here, Tom.
Yes. Heck yes. I'm going to share my screen one more time. I just want to make a quick little shout out to Sydney Green. So on our thumbnail, when I was quickly trying to make something for today, because since this was a kind of an impromptu episode, if you go onto wallpapersafari.com, there is a lot of talented artists there that have downloadable wallpapers. And thankfully, Sydney Green has this delightful one that I used for the background. And with the caveat of that, we could use it for free as long as we give them a shout out. So thank you, Sydney Green, for the use of your wallpaper that I, put on the back for a thumbnail. You can find them at wallpapersafari.com/user/SydneyG85. So I want to at least kind of show you who did that, which is awesome. Screen? There we go. A couple times we made sure to pop it up into the bottom, but we wanted to say very happy birthday to our own Michelle Hamilton. She's celebrating her birthday today. Please give her a follow on Instagram at instagram.com/Michelle Hamilton author. And then there's a slash at the end. Do a screenshot here. You can go onto our Amazon. You can go onto our Amazon site and check out her books. Please give her a like, give her a follow, and wish her a happy birthday. As for me, hello again, Melanie Dean. You can find me on Instagram at Pieces of Melee. That's my art, that's just, my normal where I put my art and stuff on. As I've been saying, I've been working on murals lately, so I haven't been posting as much as I should, but, you'll see mural kind of stuff on there. When I'm not feverishly finding out news from Christians saying, "Did you see what happened?" and I'm putting this stuff together, putting stuff together to help as everybody else does here on TLTT. You can find me on earthstationwho.com. It's another podcast where we talk Doctor Who. Right now, we've gone down to a monthly podcast where we do reviews and whatnot. But the Facebook group is a private group, but we are on YouTube. We'll appreciate you. Go here, kind of check it out. Amazing group of people there also, and there's a lot of episodes. They've, I think, already hit like 400, 600. It's been crazy. It's crazy. I'm a late edition, but you'll see that I'm there. Dave has been on quite a few episodes as well. So, check out Earth Station Who. As he had mentioned, Happiness Patrol, once in a blue moon, you might see me on Horses on Film. I'm all around the internet. If you see me, say hi. So that is our show tonight. Once again, we really appreciate you coming on, coming here and, listening to us also kind of commiserate on what on earth is happening. As Gadget mentioned before, try to always steer towards what the actual factual press releases are, and then have fun with it. Have fun with pontificating and thinking what we had, what's going on. But you are going to start seeing a little bit of the regurgitation, and beware of AI reporting, because it hallucinates, and always take things, as Tom mentioned, grain of salt. Do your research and all that other fun stuff. But
if the thumbnail says Doctor Who has been canceled, don't even click the link.
It's
I like that. I like that, Dave.
Our audience is a smart audience, and we love you dearly, and we know, clickbaity. It's not canceled per se. It's in that British way of it hasn't been renewed. So anyway, we'll be back here on Tuesday. I think that's about it. The last thing I think we need to do is make sure we say good night to our beloved Simon, and then off we go. So thanks, everyone. Good night, Simon.
Good night,
Good night,
Simon.
Simon.
And Tony,
I
take
pushed the
us out.
button.
Push the button.
Push the button.
Push the button.